look at what the government is doing for the training of youth, we can understand our intention of reminding the youth about the tradition. And we know that the will is to reconcile man with everything around him so that he can feel at ease, and in order to recount their history. It's not in vain. What used to say, Plato used to say that know thyself. Knowing means also know how to swim. That is an adage in our country, that a young man should know how to fish, how to swim, and how to hunt. That is just an adage that says that men should be worked upon and should be provided with abilities and skills in order to become a full man. And we want to expand Islamic culture. That should be in the African context, and this has allowed for us to disturbed area, which is on the focus of tourism. But we know tourism has not yet been eradicated. There are also attacks of vehicles, and there are people who are murdered. The groups and they plant landmines by using and people and indeed they are living as they used to before this event. Thanks to the elements that have been mentioned by the chairperson of the African Union, we understood that our forces were not sufficient on their own. That's why we had to join other countries, Chad, Mauritania, and Niger, to create a force so that this force of G5 Sahel, we could fight the terrorists within our region. And these terrorists impede the government to develop their programs and population to conduct their activities. And this is the fight that we carry out. We have not looked at it in the security terms, but also in the economic terms, because we understand the connection between this scourge and the precarious economic situation. We know that terrorism use this inefficiency to nurture their actions. That's why we are going to conduct economic actions so that our country can become the first economy in the Western African region, and we'll defend our territory and make this new era an era of fight, so that we can have a harmonious living in the territory of our country and try to disclose the message to diffuse the message that is against the law. We have 22% of our budget which is dedicated to defense and security. That is a big effort. That's why we have expenditures that would be directed to other sectors, but we are penalized by this effort because education is the key to all. The culture of peace has to do with education. That's why it should be the focus of our attentions, because what we do against this scourge, it's because a lot of people don't have training and they seek to target schools because they think schools would make the young people not to have to prevent this kind of thought. Schools are empty because of the problems that we had in many schools. Children do not show up because their parents have taken them abroad, and we're trying to develop a policy in order to make children and their parents return back to the country so that the school can be the pillar for the eradication of this problem. So that's why we have self-efforts. Education is the basis for all. Second question for the President of the Republic of Angola. Mr. President, Angola is living the culture of peace for 16 years, with the achievement of peace in 2002, which we want to be definitive. We don't have problems such as those in Sahel, but we have other challenges to overcome. So churches within our cultural, social and social partners are requesting more advocate for intercultural dialogue even beyond our zone of influence for prevention of these terrorist activities that happen not only in Sahel but in all other. People say that the voice of church is the voice of God, and for that reason any government has to listen to the voice of the people having an intercultural dialogue and and so that not only to pass on our experience to others, but also in order for us to learn from others, because in this world all of us have to learn from each other. Chairperson of the African Commission. So what kind of partnerships in budget deficit can be established with UNESCO for developed society, which education a role in building this continent. So Africa's agenda, let me repeat, that we envisage in this agenda is an integrated Africa whereby the African people defense of the African identity is a fundamental a country with prosperity because the continent has a lot of resources. It's a continent that has 200 million women. That's why, with implementation of the free trade continental zone, so we'll have the most important vital market. With the resources that we have, it's possible, very possible, to reach development and prosperity. But it's all linked to the issue of peace. Peace is fundamental. Without peace, we can't do anything. That's why, for us, the culture of peace is as important as the culture for producing foodstuffs. Human being is spirit before having body, but there's a need for food. There's also a need for feeding the spirit. So that is also linked, as it's been said by the President of Namibia, that is linked to the question of justice and sharing. It is necessary that within society, people should be fairly treated. This is what we call today, in our terminology, as good governance. These are the fundamental elements under which the shared value universally, under which we work with the UN system in general, and particularly with UNESCO. Madame Ajulay, Angola is a UNESCO member before having been accepted in the UN. This happened in December 1976. The partnership with Angola dates back from 26 November 1976. We know that there's a bilateral cooperation that is being developed, and Angola has already a site classified as World Heritage in Banzacom. But there are also other locations selected by Angola as non-material heritage. Angola has conditioned by 2022, when we celebrate 45 years of independence, having other sites classified as well. That's my question. I should say that we have a very long-dated relationship with Angola, but that has been renewed, renewed the will of President Lorenzo in recognizing the mandate of UNESCO. We had the pleasure of discussing on what could be the priority activities of collaboration between Angola and UNESCO, and we could follow up this trend of development and openness towards the country. We have identified some activities for cooperation. As you've already said, culture and cultural heritage, and we have an example with the inscription that took place in 2017. But we are working in training and identification of new candidatures, because in general the African heritage, the material African heritage, is a lot to be inscribed in the list of World Heritage of UNESCO. So we work in this cooperation with a great number of countries, and we are working in order to give favor to new candidatures and new enrollments to the World Heritage. What counts are the strategies to preserve and to disseminate and convey the message about this heritage. This is the first cooperation activity. The second one, the higher education in order to strengthen the structure of scientific research in the country. UNESCO have availed our scientific research network to follow up. So these are the two that we are implementing. Nevertheless, this is the BIENAL.
Aujourd'hui, elle est pas éradiquée. Elle continue sous diverses formes. Il y a des attaques de convois entre deux villes. Il y a des engins explosifs improvisés qui sont fabriqués par les terroristes au long des routes, avec l'engrais. L'engrais que les paysans utilisent sert également d'ingrédient pour ces engins explosifs improvisés et cause des dégâts. Mais la lutte combinée avec les forces alliées, les forces maliennes et les populations elles-mêmes résilientes, tout cela fait qu'aujourd'hui, ce n'est plus la même ambiance que celle qui prévalait dans les années 2012. Aujourd'hui, on est dans un cycle qui est plutôt de régression, grâce à ce qui a été indiqué également par le président de la Commission de l'Union africaine, Moussa Faki Mahama. Nous avons compris que nos forces à elles seules ne suffiraient pas, et nous sommes alliés avec nos frères de 14 pays, le Tchad, la Mauritanie, le Burkina et le Niger. Nous avons mutualisé nos forces pour que, au sein de cette coalition du G5 Sahel, nous puissions nous allier pour bouter hors de notre espace le terrorisme qui nous empêche de vivre, qui empêche nos populations d'aller et venir, qui empêche la vie entre deux villages, qui empêche la convivialité autrefois de mise entre nous, qui empêche la tenue d'une foire villageoise, la vie tout simplement dans nos zones d'existence. Et cette lutte que nous menons, nous la menons également sur le front économique, parce que nous avons quand même compris aussi le lien qui a été indiqué par certains des orateurs avant moi, le lien entre les précarités sociales et économiques dans certaines de nos régions, dont les terroristes profitent pour s'insinuer, s'infiltrer dans nos sociétés et y s'aimer ce que l'on sait aujourd'hui. Et donc, nous sommes également sur le front économique, nous nous battons, au point que notre pays est aujourd'hui la troisième économie de l'espace de l'Union économique et monétaire ouest-africaine. Nous avons compris que la lutte pour la défense territoriale, la lutte pour la défense de notre État et de nos valeurs devait être conduite de manière également de pair avec la lutte pour
Como é mais falei, bem com a academia. Não, você quer dizer os parabéns. Você é mulher, ele vai levar em consideração isso. Isso faz. Então, passar uma velocidade. Então. Tá bom. Você? No país onde for mais grande, no jeito. Já vi a vida não estou. Eu não queria subir, mas não. Eles vão levar o subir. Yeah.
Confiança. Quem precisa de confiar e quem deve ser confiado? Porque temos muito enfoque aqui sobre líderes, mas não fomos lá abaixo como inculcar em termos de sociedade, como termos relação mútua para implementar essas ideias de paz, para que vão transformar a sociedade. Portanto, a pergunta: do seu cargo, o que é que pensa ser a situação ideal de cultivar a confiança na sociedade e quem deve ser confiado e quem deve confiar? Listen, in a society, if there's no trust between the leadership and population, actually there's a problem. I believe that we are all today in the African continent and in accordance with the instruments that we have adopted for democracy, good governance, that relies through transparent elections. There is an African charter in this matter. So, the leadership needs adhesion. Today, there are so many political parties, unions, and you have the civil society that plays also an important role that is recognized well. So we need to build such a trust, and that is in reality the sense of good governance, both in political terms, in economic terms, the question of justice. These are the pillars for a trust, a relationship between the rulers and the population, and it's fundamental. In most cases, it's not the case of having a chief that comes from heaven, that has all the supernatural skills, but it's a question of trust, a relationship. You need to engage population, youth, women and girls in the management of issues. That is an approach that is starting to prove truth in our continent. So this is something essential. So this is the substance of the African Union 2063 agenda on cultural, political level. So Africa needs to recover the pride of its identity. We have our vision of life, and we shouldn't change the nature of Africa. It's necessary that Africans, mainly the youth, should take advantage in terms of their future and need to have a spirit of ownership by having confidence, because and that trust is only when it is. Presidente João Lourenço mencionou a importância ou a sua esperança relativamente ao Acordo de Comércio Livre da África em termos de melhorar o contexto africano, mesmo em matéria de paz e segurança. A promoção da confiança é inerente ao seu sucesso. Mas quais são as outras formas que julga que o acordo vai ajudar a reunir o continente na busca ou na persecução deste objetivo comum a nível do continente? Well, the agreement has not yet been implemented because not all member states have already ratified it, but we have a lot of confidence that it will be eventually implemented because it only brings benefits for our continent. Apart from the factor of trust between nations and states and populations from different countries that are part of the continent, we think that we need to remove some yet existing barriers, not only custom barriers or tariff barriers, but we have to improve.
Bienal de Luanda, Fórum Pan-Africano para a Cultura de Paz.
In as much as you want to have free trade, you have to have free movement, and free movement within armed conflicts is not possible. So we will have to make a huge effort in the domain of defense and security in order to ensure the safety of the roads, mainly roads, and not only but also maritime routes. We know that there is sea piracy in some parts, not only of the Atlantic but also the Indian Ocean. So these are points that are unfortunately prevailing, which if not overcome certainly will hinder the full implementation of the free trade zone on our continent. E questões que devíamos falar, mas gostaria de agradecer a todos os panelistas e Vossas Excelências por terem reservado tempo para partilhar experiências e esperanças. Portanto, no primeiro dia do Bienal, portanto, por favor, fiquem aqui, ainda há muito por vir depois do intervalo. Muito obrigado. É tudo. Bom, eu não estou a pensar que está na televisão ou o quê?
I'm going to invite the distinguished head of state present to remain here with us. Now we're going to watch the signature of agreement on doctoral plan between Angola and UNESCO. From the Angolan side, the agreement will be signed by His Excellency Minister of IAI Education, Science, Technology and Innovation, Maria do Rosário Sambo, representing the head of state, João Lourenço, and for UNESCO, it will be signed by General Director Audrey Azoulay. The doctorate plan that will be signed, it aims at supporting the implementation of the National Doctorate Program on Science, Technology and Innovation, and is separated in two main components. The first component is the mechanism on doctorate sponsorship, and the second one is to do with the activity and capacity building in Angolan scientific research.
está assim assinado pela...
The doctorate plan has been signed, which aims at supporting the national program of doctorate program on science, technology and innovation between the Republic of Angola and UNESCO. So I invite now to the podium to be with the President of Angola, his wife, the First Lady of the Republic of Angola, Ana J. Lourenço, as well as the First Lady of Namibia, as well as Madam Audrey, to come to the podium, and also the Minister of State of Cape Verde, and the First Prime Minister of Equatorial Guinea, and the Minister of Culture of Egypt, in representation of and also the Minister of State of Cape Verde, and the First Prime Minister of Equatorial Guinea, and the Minister of Culture of Egypt, in representation of His President and the Minister of the Republic of Angola. As a sign of peace, to mark the opening of our forum, we also called to be with us Dr. Mukwege, 2018 Nobel Peace Laureate, and as a symbol of peace, the entities receive a flower from the hand of these little kids. And with this act, the opening session of Luanda Bienal is closed. To all the present, thank you very much. The Bienal is open and it's open for various venues at Agushinet Memorial Site and
Só para eles?
Ia ser só para eles?
Só para eles não anuncia.
Se é só para eles.
Isso pronuncia também, todo mundo vai lá.
Ah, todos.
Só que eu vou entender por cima. Ok.
Na sequência, teremos um banquete que está a ser oferecido pelo Sr. Presidente da República. Estão todos convidados.
Eu não sou bom de tecnologia.
Ângela.
Bienal de Luanda, Fórum Pan-Africano para a Cultura de Paz. Participe no Festival de Culturas, uma verdadeira plataforma para intercâmbios, promovendo a expressão artística e cultural africana, com participação de 12 países africanos e de outras partes do mundo, envolvidos na promoção de valores a favor da paz e não violência, através da expressão artística e cultura africana. Este evento, a decorrer de 18 a 22 de setembro, no Museu Nacional de História Militar, celebra as riquezas culturais do continente africano e coloca em evidência diferentes expressões artísticas e culturais. Por uma cultura de paz, junte-se a nós. Participe na Bienal. Uma parceria da Unesco, União Africana e Governo de Angola.
De 18 a 22 de setembro, Angola vai acolher a primeira Bienal de Luanda, Fórum Pan-Africano para a Cultura de Paz. Uma parceria entre a Unesco, União Africana e o Governo de Angola.
Bienal de Luanda, Fórum Pan-Africano para a Cultura de Paz. Participe no Fórum de Ideias, uma plataforma de reflexão sobre o futuro de África, com foco na disseminação de boas práticas e soluções de prevenção e mitigação de conflitos. O Fórum de Ideias, a realizar-se no dia 19 de setembro no Memorial Dr. António Agostinho Neto, é uma ocasião para que as mulheres e a juventude africana afirmem o seu papel no desenvolvimento do continente. Por uma cultura de paz, junte-se a nós. Participe na Bienal. Uma parceria da Unesco, União Africana e Governo de Angola. Bienal de Luanda, Fórum Pan-Africano para a Cultura de Paz. Participe no Festival de Culturas, uma verdadeira plataforma para intercâmbios, promovendo a expressão artística e cultural africana, com participação de 12 países africanos e de outras partes do mundo, envolvidos na promoção de valores a favor da paz e não violência, através da expressão artística e cultura africana. Este evento, a decorrer de 18 a 22 de setembro, no Museu Nacional de História Militar, celebra as riquezas culturais do continente africano e coloca em evidência diferentes expressões artísticas e culturais. Por uma cultura de paz, junte-se a nós. Participe na Bienal. Uma parceria da Unesco, União Africana e Governo de Angola.
De 18 a 22 de setembro, Angola vai acolher a primeira Bienal de Luanda, Fórum Pan-Africano para a Cultura de Paz. Uma parceria entre a Unesco, União Africana e o Governo de Angola.
Bienal de Luanda, Fórum Pan-Africano para a Cultura de Paz. Participe no Fórum de Ideias, uma plataforma de reflexão sobre o futuro de África, com foco na disseminação de boas práticas e soluções de prevenção e mitigação de conflitos. O Fórum de Ideias, a realizar-se no dia 19 de setembro no Memorial Dr.